Welcome, my friends. I hope you're all having an excellent weekend. And today, guys, we're here to announce that tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're going to be hosting a new event format here on the channel, which is going to be a faction war format. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the format. So it is going to be a 16-man tournament, and each faction is going to be represented. Granted, in Total War, there's technically 15 factions, but thankfully there are a couple sub-factions that are quite unique, and we can round it out to a nice 16. Sartosa is indeed going to be the sub-faction played, because who doesn't want to see pirates? Should be quite a bit of fun, a little bit more engaging than like Averlorn and factions like that. But nonetheless, so there's going to be 16 players. Each game is going to be a best of one, so it's just a quick elimination. A lot of players, but it should go relatively quickly considering that it is single elimination, with the exception of the grand finals, which will be a best of 3. So you guys will be able to pick for your root for your champion, right? So there's going to be a Lizardman representative, which you guys will see towards the end of this video. We'll go through the brackets, who's playing, who's championing which factions, and yeah, you guys can get ready to party. Now, some other exciting news about this event. It is indeed sponsored. So the prize pool is going to be $250, which 100% of it is going to be going to the players. So $150 for first, $75 for second, and $25 for third, which is going to be voted on by you guys. So essentially, the champion who brought a fun build or someone that you really liked watching in the tournament, there'll be a voting system going on during the event, which you guys can follow for that. But the prize pool is being sponsored 100% by Kittens vs. Puppies, the card game. So there's a very fine gentleman in our community known as Shadow Online Gaming. So if you guys haven't seen his YouTube channel, he's an outstanding multiplayer guy. He's been doing tournaments, multiplayer stuff, campaign, modded gameplay for ages. He's been on my channel a multitude of times. I've played in a number of his tournaments, and we just go way back. He's truly a friend of the channel. So Shadow Online Gaming is actually creating this awesome game here. So Kittens vs. Puppies, the card game, you guys can see it here. He has a Kickstarter. So if any of you guys are interested in supporting this, obviously he's supporting the multiplayer community, and I think it would be a great way to give back to someone in our community who's really going out and taking, an entrepreneurial initiative here, which is awesome. So Kittens vs. Puppies, the card game. Cute but fierce deck building card game. Choose your side and battle in the most adorable struggle of all time. Very exciting stuff. And of course, there's a whole introductory video you guys can check out here where he'll give you the dynamics about the game, how it's played, and all that sort of stuff as well. So let's go ahead and scroll down and just read a little bit. So ever thought about what pets do when their owners are not around? Well, as a matter of fact, Anna and I actually thought about putting like a camera and seeing what, because whenever we leave the house, and this is actually pertinent to this because Wookiee is in the game. So Shadow has put Wookiee in the game. I believe Lore Master of Sotek's dog is in the game as well. So you can see Wookiee here is a knight class, and I believe Sotek's dog Chloe, I believe, is some sort of a wizard. So he's pulled cats and pets. I believe Janet on occasion has a pet in this game as well. So there's a bunch of pets from various content creators in the Total War community that are in this game, which is pretty awesome for sure. But here's Wookiee looking all majestic with like a giant Warhammer. Look at that. Wookiee even gets the Sigmar Warhammer. And I believe this is Chloe back here. Must be casting some protective magic on Wookiee. Who knows? But nonetheless, let's go ahead and read a little bit about it. So most people picture them laying in the sun, running about and making a mess. While this is true, however, this is not all they do. They are champions in the most adorable war you've ever heard of. A secret struggle that has been going on since the very first pets, thousands of years ago. So essentially you take a side, kittens versus puppies, so dogs versus cats. Of course, I'm more of a dog person, Anna's more of a cat person. So perhaps when we get our hands on a copy of this game, we'll have to, there'll be a little bit of an internal struggle here in the house. But nonetheless, it's, an RPG style game. So there's itemization. You pick a specific class. You, are buying equipment throughout the course of the game. So for anybody who's interested in these RPG style games, it's very exciting stuff. And of course, it's friendly for individuals of all ages, as you can see. Of course, it does have some scary stuff going on. I'm sure Wookiee with the Warhammer is no joke. But yeah, basically, guys, check out the Kickstarter page for all the details here. You can look down and see the different classes. So this is what we really need to focus on. So if we look here, you can see the Knight, for example. Now it is all about defense, using more armor and shields than other classes to halt incoming attacks before striking back using weapons such as crossbows and poleaxes. Warhammers in the case of the Pooch here, and you can see Wookiee, oh, look at that card. Oh, that's so great. Yeah, so you can see they all have their different kind of profiles and, stat lines and things like that. So Knight is all about defense. If they can get up a shield wall, it is nearly impossible to break down. This is for the more careful, patient players. Next, we have the Barbarian class. So let's see if, I don't know if I recognize any of these. I think Chloe is a caster, so Sotek's dog. So Maddie, I believe, is actually Janet on occasion's dog. You can see Maddie right here. And then there's Chloe. So Chloe must be a knight as well. So Chloe's a tanking class, and I'm not sure where these other pets come from, but I'm sure Shadow can share that with you guys. There's a Barbarian class here, so very little can slow, let alone stop these champions once they get going. So obviously this is like an aggressive Berserker class. You can see this one right here. Looks like it has some lightning claws from 40k. An assassin class, a thief class, And of course, as is with Kickstarter, there's a whole different system. So if you pledge, you want to just throw in $1 or something like that, it'll help reach the funding goal. And there's ascending pledges based on, other benefits and things like that. So you guys can scroll down and check this all out. It'll, of course, be in the comment section and description of this video. So again, Shadow is going to be putting forward the prize pool. So he's taking out of his own pocket, putting in $250, which will be going to our Faction War tournament, which is going to be going on tomorrow. So again, I just want to sincerely thank Shadow and the Kittens vs. Puppies card game for sponsoring our event. It's going to be awesome. And, in the future, I'd love to just get more sponsorships and engagements to really kind of grow the multiplayer community. And Shadow has been a longtime supporter. If you guys take a look here at his YouTube channel, you can see he's got videos going back just years and years. So of course, here's his Kickstarter launch and just countless battles and tournaments and campaigns and everything like that. And yeah, it goes back a long way. So also guys, if you want to support Shadow in that respect, head on over to his channel, check him out. You guys can see more multiplayer content. He does modded gameplay. You can see the Ultimate Skaven mod and the Warhammer Ultimate Chaos mod as well. So all kinds of good stuff. But again, really check out the board game and the Kickstarter as well, because they are, putting forward a lot of cash to really sponsor this fun event that we're going to be doing. And perhaps we can work on, some longtime partnerships and all kinds of good stuff like that. So now, guys, we're going to be jumping over to check out the brackets. So let's take a look. It's firstly going to be Talaxlan Soothsayer as the champion of the Empire, which is going to be quite exciting. So Sooth is going to be playing the Empire in the first match of the day, facing off against Zablaski, who shall be championing the High Elves. Next, we have Vicious Satsuma as a greenskin specialist, facing off against Romulan Dog. He's going to be leading the forces of Sartosa. So Romulan, the hero of the people, coming in with the sub-faction. Going to get some pirates fighting greenskins. Should be quite interesting. So we have that as our second best of one of the day. Then we have Rame, ODM Rame, facing off against VM Crabbling. So we have Rame on the Vampire Counts, Crabbling on the Skavens. Very excited for that. Certainly some very high-level tournament players going to be going fisticuffs. And next we have Zero, of course, a longtime Chaos player, going to be the champion of the Dark Gods, facing off against Zyphos, who, to no surprise, is going to be the champion of the Wood Elves. And perhaps we'll see some Mel Gibson, but I suspect Way Watchers and Prey of Anathrema, but you never know. It's a wild best of one, so sometimes you can catch people off guard and go for these very risky builds, right? So next we have El Halcón, who's going to be leading the forces of Bretonia, facing off against Flying Taco, who shall be our Beastman champion. And we have Ulrich Rahl, who shall be playing Norska, facing off against Grombrindle, aka Undertaker, who's going to be the herald of the ancestors. He's going to be our dwarf champion. So of course, there's always a special place in my heart for the Dawi. So we'll see how that goes. And next we have Chosen One of ODM facing off against Vampire, or not facing off. He's going to be the Vampire Coast champion, and he's going to be going up against Arrow Krastic, ever chosen champion, who is going to be playing the Tomb Kings. And of course, I believe one of the more notable performances we have seen from Arrow was from his Tomb King performance at the Ever-Chosen Invitational in Game 5 of the finals against Soothsayer. So we'll see if they can be a repeat of that success. And last but not least, we have Falcon on the Lizardmen, the champion of the Old Ones, coming in and facing off against his good friend Hadri. So alas, the friends do have to duel here. It's going to be Obi-Wan facing off against Anakin all over again. And Hadri's, of course, an amazing Dark Elf player. I've been punished by his Dark Elves many times over and over. And yeah, it's certainly going to be great. So again, that's going to be our rundown of the day. They are going to be best of one. So all the initial games will be best of ones. And the second round and semifinals will also be best of ones. And the grand finals will be a best of three. So it's going to be very similar to like StarCraft. And we'll see if you guys like this format. If you guys like the format of this event, kind of the faction war thing, this would be a really fun, kind of more casual tournament format to mix in. And yeah, just throw it in like once a week or once every 2 weeks. And I think it's a cool way to see like, just faction mano y mano, like which factions, like let's say we have faction wars for like 2 months straight, which factions are dominating, who's getting to the top. And of course we would change players and things like that, get some new faces in there just to see different builds and play styles, because there's a vast difference between how I play Vampire Coast and probably how Chosen One plays Vampire Coast. There's many different play styles just within factions, which is what makes this game so engaging. So guys, I hope to see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So remember to check your clock and check the time differences. Should be about 8-hour time difference from Western Europe. And of course, if you're going all the way over to Russia, I believe it's around 12 hours. So make sure to check it out and tune in. And again, a special thanks to Shadow Online Gaming and his awesome card game here, Kittens vs. Puppies, the card game which does feature Wookiee and a multitude of pets from the Total War community. So make sure to check him out in Kickstarter. Throw a buck his way. Throw how much ever you want. Just give him some support. Definitely really appreciate it, because he's supporting this tournament and giving this prize pool to the players just out of pocket. So big thanks to Kittens vs. Puppies, the card game. Make sure to check out the Kickstarter, and to Shadow Online Gaming for the very generous support. And on that note, guys, we will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Cheers.